What's going on, Trojan family? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports. This is your daily dose of USC Trojans recruiting news. Not a lot to talk about with the 2026 class. As I mentioned, I'm getting all backtracking. Brett Kolajay was the last target for USC during these summer months. They landed him, bringing their class to 32. Those final 3 spots to bring them to 35, they are leaving open for fall evaluations, in which they will then start going after maybe 3 more because they do want to have a 35-person class. So, if you can believe it, I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if I'm ready, but we're already starting to ramp up 2027 recruiting. I feel like we haven't even put a bow on 26 yet. Obviously, a lot of work for USC, Lincoln Riley, and company to do to ensure that this class all gets to December signing day without any flips. Already rumors out there. I got 2 2027, but just rumors out there. Jamie and Winfield, one of the top defensive line recruits in the 2026 class out of the state of Texas, obviously committed to USC. There's been murmurs about teams still going hard after him, as all these guys are going to have teams going all, just because USC has a policy of no visits, just because all these guys are saying they're locked in, doesn't mean teams aren't going to still try to pursue. However, our good friend Scott Schrader reached out to Winfield about this, and he said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, still getting recruited hard, but I am 100% locked in with USC. So that's a good sign. There was another rumor on some Oklahoma boards out there that Booby Feaster was planning to take a visit to Oklahoma during the season. The man himself, Booby Feaster, came out and said, this is a lie. Let me find the actual tweet for you. I'll put this up on the screen. But he says, I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, but please don't lie or speculate on my name unless it came out of me or my parents' mouth. This is not true. And that is based on an Oklahoma article that says there's also mounting sense of belief among sources that 4-star wide receiver Booby Feaster will take an unofficial visit to Oklahoma next month. We've teased this possibility previously, and the noise continues to percolate. Well, the man himself says that's false. Feaster's locked in with USC. We still have a lot of months to go. Things can change. These are not binding contracts. But I've said many, many times, I feel much, much better about this class making it all the way to the finish line. So those are your 2 little rumor tidbits. We can find more at LAFBnetwork.com. But looking at the 2027 class, crazy, wild to already think that we're looking toward that future. But there's 2 local commits, both on the defensive side of the ball, that it's really going to come down to USC and UCLA, which makes it fun, right? We're recruiting from when you're clashing with your little brother in the same city, 12 miles apart, fighting for California supremacy in the recruiting ranks. And UCLA, for both these guys, has an extremely good shot, but I think USC has the upper hand to close if they so choose. Doesn't mean they will. It's not any disrespect or shade to UCLA, who I think has really ramped up their recruiting and doing a really good job. Deshaun Foster and his staff has really put an emphasis on recruiting, which the past regime did not. So they are a real threat to USC in getting local recruits. I just think USC's staying power, especially if this season go as planned, they can kind of close these guys. So let's get to who the guys are, right? So let's start first with George Toia, defensive lineman, 6'2", 300-pound defensive tackle. Currently, he's the second-ranked defensive lineman in the 2027 class. That's Rivals Industry Rankings, the 42nd overall ranked player. So elite, big body guy. If the name sounds familiar, it's because it should. His brother, Jay Toia, originally not just committed to USC, but enrolled to USC. I'm thinking the timeline, but I'm pretty sure he enrolled in the spring, made it through the spring, hit the portal, transferred to UCLA. played his career at UCLA. So the family has ties to both schools, obviously. Him being at USC, I don't know how it went down with the family. That was the previous coaching regime. This was either pre-Lincoln Riley or it was like as he was transitioning. Trying to remember the exact. I think it was still Clay Helton, but it could have been Lincoln Riley's like first off season. He gets hired in December, and he has that spring and Toia transfer. I'm pretty sure it was Clay Helton. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, will correct me. I don't have the years in front of me, but either way, wouldn't be heavily tied with Lincoln Riley, and for sure this defensive staff is completely different. So differences there, but obviously being a local kid. Now, George, the younger Toia, as I mentioned, the highly touted, transferred from Fontana to Torrance for this season. Bishop Montgomery, just his junior season. We're talking 2026 kids. They got 2 years left of high school. Miami's in the running. Oklahoma's in the running. Of Miami, he told rivals, Miami's a great school. I like the private education. And they're pretty high up on the charts for me as well. I talk to the coaches there almost every day. Certainly will be in the running as Miami is with most top flight recruits. But as I mentioned and I alluded to at the top of this video, I think UCLA will be the biggest threat for this. A, the tie with his brother playing his collegiate career there, getting drafted to the NFL, having a lot of success with that program. B, the ties to the defensive coordinator, and Akike Malloy. He said of the coaches, told rivals, I really like the coaches. Coach Malloy and I have a great relationship. We talk almost every day. He checks up on me, and we talk about D-line work. He's a great coach, and UCLA is a great school. Now, USC has been said to be one of the front-runners early in this recruiting. As we know with the 2027 class, by having 35 commits potentially in the 26 class, really only going to have like 15 to 17 in this 27 class. It's going to be a much smaller class. So they're going to be real picky, key in on exactly who they want, but that'll allow them to go all in right off the bat. Like they can basically pick a board of 25 guys. That's who they offer, go all in, and then obviously 15, 17 is the finished product. George Toia could be one of those guys if Coach Henderson so chooses. The talent, the locality, the family, the pedigree. I think it's a really strong choice. So, long way away. We'll watch this one for sure. But a lot of fun that I think it will come down to the two hometown schools in UCLA and USC. Another kid that it's going to come down to the two hometown schools is four-star safety Khalil Terry out of the great city of Tustin in Orange County. Tustin Tillers, my guy, Frosty Rucker, USC Trojan great. He went to Tustin. UCLA head coach Deshaun Foster also went to Tustin. He was originally committed to Michigan State, ended up decommitting. Obviously, now that means his recruitment's back open. Part of the reason for that decommitment was position coach Demetrius Martin was with the Michigan State Spartans, left Michigan State, is now with the UCLA Bruins. So he has a really strong tie to Martin, which is why right now I would say UCLA is for sure the front runner to land him. But USC is pushing, and that's changing. And again, I think it comes down to these two schools. As Rivals is reporting, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Ohio State, Nebraska, Alabama, and Oklahoma, along with the two LA schools, are in the running. Of UCLA and of Demetrius Martin, he said, Martin is big in my recruitment. He's always been straightforward with me since day one. That's why UCLA is so big for me. If he wasn't there, it wouldn't be as high for me. Now I have to rethink a couple things with UCLA. So, clearly this position coach was probably the main reason why he committed to Michigan State. And him now being at UCLA puts UCLA in the driver's seat. Obviously not sold. USC, on the other hand, was not high on his list early in his recruitment. Maybe they didn't recruit him. But the relationship between the two is certainly growing. And the addition of Trevon Reed to the staff with Doug Belk in the secondary is certainly helping in that. Terry says of USC, I go up there a lot now. I'm starting to like them a lot more than I did at first. At first, I didn't really like them as much. As I started to like them more and building that relationship, we've been getting closer and closer every day. I didn't like them so much because I liked UCLA a lot more, but now it's evening out because they've been showing me a lot of love. So, obviously, again, very early. You got 2 years essentially to turn this guy around. Again, really talented. As I said, 4-star safety. So depending how that secondary and that DB room continues to look as this team continues to progress, he's currently, by Rivals industry rankings, the 15th ranked safety in the 2027 class, 165th ranked overall player nationally, 5'11", 180. So great size. I mean, it's crazy this guy's going to be a junior. So a lot of talent there. So we'll keep you posted on all this. I feel weird right now already talking about 2027, but George Toia, Khalil Terry, 2 names on the defensive side of the ball to keep your eye on. And like I said, I'll keep you posted on all that. We'll start ramping up our 2027 recruiting. We'll get our big board up on LAFBnetwork.com. You can follow along there. But any real updates, rumors, obviously commitments, there'll be videos for you right here on the USC LAFB YouTube channel. Thank you, as always, for making this part of your day. We're going to have a great rest of your day. We'll be back soon. We're ramping up our content, obviously, with the season around the corner. Coach is back. Madman's back. Tim's back. We got the Call-In Show. We got other podcasts, and obviously this daily recruiting updates as much as I can do for you. So check out all of our USC stuff over at LAFBnetwork.com. But I'm Ryan Dyrud. As always, fight on.